ladies, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Aisha. I'm a certified trauma-informed coach and manifestation guide. Today's video topic is going to be trying versus being. And if you're new to manifestation, more than likely you have been trying to manifest instead of being the person who has your manifestations. So I'm going to break it down in this video and make it really simple to understand so you can make that easy shift and start getting your manifestations. Most people, when they think of manifestation, they think of techniques. They think of affirmations and, trying to be confident and doing these repetitions of visualizations or meditation or scripting. And the techniques are great. They are wonderful tools. They do really work. Ultimately, though, what the techniques are doing is changing your self-concept. Now, self-concept is very simple. It is how you view yourself, how you view others, and what you believe about the world. So if you believe that you have to work hard to make money, for example, your reality will reflect that belief. If you believe that people are generally friendly and kind, you will be surrounded by kind and friendly people. If you believe the opposite, that people are rude and selfish and kind of a pain in the butt, you're gonna encounter a lot of people who reflect that belief in you because your brain is searching for it. It's looking for that information to confirm the belief. Our brains are wired to confirm our beliefs. We really feel inclined to confirm what we already understand about the world, and there are several reasons for that. I'm not gonna get into it. But the point is to understand that you have a portion of your brain called the reticular activating system, and it spots patterns, and it spots anything that you value as important. So back in the caveman days, when we were hunter-gatherer, fisher-weavers, right? So you either went out into the woods and collected herbs and fruit and vegetation, or you went out and chased down animals to hunt and consume. Or you were someone who stayed at the village and kept a lookout of the people at the village, or you were a fisherman, whatever your job was. There were certain things that helped you to stay safe. And let's say you were a hunter. You would want to be able to quickly spot the difference between a poisonous snake versus a harmless snake, for example. So you're going to tell your brain over time, oh, that one's poisonous, we have to get away from it, and that one's safe. You'd also want to remember, if you're a gatherer or just in general, which berries are safe to eat. What do they look like? What does the branch look like? Do they have thorns or no thorns? Those small details we would pick up over time in our lived experience, and the reticular activating system would allow us to spot those things quicker. So you're basically telling that portion of your brain, this is important for my survival, either in a positive way or a negative way. So if you were out in the forest, there's poison oak and poison ivy. There are certain plants and vegetation or trees that harmful animals live in. So you want to remember those to avoid them. In our daily lives, we have that portion of our brain, but it's programmed a little bit differently than it was when we were purely optimizing for survival. This is kind of a more relatable thing, bringing it to modern day. Whenever you're car shopping and you know you want this specific car, all of a sudden, once you've made the decision that you want that car is important to you, that it's valuable to you, you will see it everywhere in town. Like, you'll just be driving around and you're like, oh, hey, there's another one. Oh, hey, there's another one. Those cars were driving before. More than likely, they were even driving around in the same volume or quantity. But because your reticular activating system was not programmed to see them as important, you were kind of blind to them. They were under your radar. You weren't really valuing them, and so you weren't looking for them. And when it comes to manifestation, this is very much the same thing. If you are someone who is looking for a job opportunity, for example, and it's very important for you to get that job, you're going to begin having conversations and seeking out opportunities with others and putting yourself out in the world as a job seeker, as someone who has programmed their reticular activating system to look for job opportunities, because that is of value to you. That is something you've told your brain is important to uphold. So when we have a concept about ourselves or the world, our brain is wired to confirm those beliefs. And when we understand mirror principle, it is essentially our 3D circumstances, our world around us is showing us what we want to see. Not necessarily what we desire, but confirming the beliefs that are dominant in our subconscious. And that is the only way to truly manifest, is to alter those beliefs. If you're someone who believes that it is difficult to, for example, be good at basketball, and it's a dream of yours, it's a desire of yours to be good at basketball, the only way to get there is to eradicate the belief that it's difficult to succeed at basketball and implant the new belief that it's easy for you. Not just easy in general, but that it's easy for you to succeed in that. I know a lot of people in my life have always struggled with money, and I hear them saying things like, I'm broke, and money's always tight, and money doesn't grow on trees. And those are the types of beliefs we pick up in our childhood, and oftentimes we don't question them. We don't even realize that those have programmed our subconscious in such a way that our brains are looking for reasons to prove that right, to prove those beliefs correct. And so if you truly want to change, and this goes for money, and this goes for health, and this goes for romance, especially when it comes to SP. I work with a lot of women who have different insecurities about themselves or different limiting beliefs. Some of them believe that men only want them for their bodies, or they believe that relationships are hard, or they believe age is a barrier to having a successful relationship. And all of those are beliefs, they're choices. And sometimes beliefs don't feel like choices, but ultimately they are. Ultimately, we're choosing to hold on to those beliefs. We're choosing to limit ourselves with those beliefs. We're choosing to say, I can't have this because of this. I can't have this desire I want because I believe this. And when we break it down to that, it's kind of silly for most of us. When we say our beliefs out loud and start to question them, it can be like, wait, why do I believe that? Where did that come from? And sometimes it matters where it came from, and it can help you to know where it came from to help you work it out. But most of the time, you don't need to know where it came from. You just need to be aware of it. Once you are aware of the beliefs holding you back, once you are aware that you are holding on to an idea that is preventing you, that's the very thing keeping you from progressing towards your desire, you can begin to change it. And this is where repetition comes from. It takes so many times, so many repetitions, so many affirmations, so many inner conversations, so many scripts, so many visualizations to truly change that dominant subconscious belief to a new dominant belief. Think about how long it took you to walk or speak your native language. If you know multiple languages, think about how long it took you to learn the new language because your dominant thoughts are in your native language. Think about how many times it takes you to drive to your new workplace before you can remember it by heart. We are programmed through repetition. In order to change our behaviors and our habits, we have to create a new habit, a new pattern, and that ultimately takes discipline. And this is where a lot of people fail in their manifestation because they think, oh, I'm trying. But you don't try to be who you are. You just are who you are. You don't have to try to be from your country. You just are. You don't have to try to be a man or a woman. You just are. You don't have to try to be tall or short. You just are. And why are you? Because you don't fight that assumption. You're not creating a belief saying, if you're tall, you're not constantly telling yourself, I'm short. If you're short, you're not constantly telling yourself, I'm tall. Like, you just accept that that is your state of being. And unless you're actively trying to change it, I know some people are trying to get taller, but You're not actively trying to change it. It's just an assumption that is already locked into your subconscious. It's locked into your identity. I talk about this a lot on my channel because it is so important to understand the concept of identity shifting and changing how you are being versus just trying to manifest. I tried for many years to lose weight. I would lose weight and gain weight and lose weight and gain weight. And the entire period of my life where I was unhealthy and overweight and had struggles losing weight, I was telling myself I'm a big lady. I was telling myself it's hard to lose weight. I was telling myself all of these limiting beliefs that were literally the roadblock in between me and my desired reality. And it was only once I stopped feeding those into my brain, it was only once I stopped telling myself that I would always be overweight, that it was hard to lose weight, and started telling myself, I'm so skinny now, like I'm losing so much weight now. This is so easy for me to lose weight. It's so easy. I don't even have to push myself too hard to lose weight. The weight is just coming off of me. Like I barely have to do anything. And I know there is some practicality we learn. We kind of tend to stay grounded in logic when we're trying to manifest. But when you truly understand this world, you understand that logic is subjective and it's only a small part of the world around us. There are certain limitations of this world. I accept that. However, putting limits on ourselves doesn't get us anywhere. So if you want to manifest your specific person, for example, and you are single, stop saying that you're single. Stop complaining about how lonely you are. Stop saying how hard it is to get a boyfriend. Stop complaining about your circumstances and identifying with those circumstances, and instead switch over and begin to live in the end of your new identity and start being that woman who has their specific person. Be that woman, be that version of yourself that is in a happy, healthy, loving, committed relationship. Talk to yourself like a woman who is in a happy, healthy, loving, committed relationship, instead of talking to yourself like you're a single person. Because talking to yourself, viewing yourself, seeing yourself, thinking about yourself, and in relation to the world as a single person is only going to continue to manifest you being a single person. Whereas when you do that shift and start being, not trying, you're not affirming to try to be this new person. You're not affirming to try to get your desire. That's missing the whole point. You have to be the person who is worthy of the desire. You have to be the person who is responsible enough to handle the desire. You have to be the person who, of course, they have that. Of course, they have their partner. Of course, they have their dream body. Of course, they have whatever they want. Because they see themselves as the person who is worthy of it, the person who is capable of it, and the person who is deserving of it. And this is where everyone goes wrong with SP. You can manifest your SP in through affirmations and visualizations and scripting, and then your SP will turn sour on you because you haven't actually changed your dominant concept of yourself. And there's a bit of intricacy here because you can feel confident about yourself and insecure in relationships. You can feel confident about your body, but insecure about your personality. You can feel confident in relationships maybe, and feel really a low confidence in the workplace. It's because we're multifaceted beings. You are not only one way in every arena. So our concept of ourselves is an ever-changing, ever-evolving, multifaceted thing. And if we're only focused on one area to improve on, we may be ignoring a bunch of others. So if you're manifesting an SP, think about who you have to be, how you have to show up in the world. What do you have to think about yourself? What do you have to say about yourself? What kind of treatment are you going to tolerate? What sort of self-care routines do you do? What are your standards? What are your boundaries? And create those for yourself and live there. Be that person. Every day choose to be that person. And in the beginning, it's going to be hard. You know, in the Mirror is You video, I talked about how when I began my weight loss journey, I could barely look myself in the eye in the mirror because I just wasn't happy with what I saw. I wasn't happy with myself. And it took time and time and time and time and time again for me to look at that reflection and to say, I love you no matter what, and I'm going to take care of you no matter what, and we're going to do this no matter what, to eventually get to a place where I was making 3D progress. But the progress started with me. It started with that shift of identity. And once the identity shifted, everything in my 3D just started happening easily. I didn't have to try. I just had to focus on being and focus on continuing to be that new version. Because if I had started to be that new version and then regressed and then gave up, I wouldn't have my desires. The point is to not give up. It's to choose who you want to be, define that person, and embody that person every day, from the time you wake up to the time you go to sleep. I am this person now. I am the woman who has it all. I am the woman who has a healthy relationship. I am the woman who has a successful job. I am the woman who has a healthy body. I am the woman who gets what I want because I show up in the world as the woman who is deserving of those desires. And so if you're running into roadblocks and your SP is not here, or the job isn't here, or you can't lose weight, start to turn within and think about how you're talking to yourself. What are your inner conversations? Think about the times that you're hypercritical of yourself, or you're really rude to yourself in your inner conversations. And pause for a second and ask yourself, am I being the best version of me? Am I being the woman who has it all? When I say those things to myself, am I being the woman who has my SP when I'm talking about how lonely it is to be single? Am I being the healthiest, wealthiest, most attractive version of myself? Or am I stuck in my old story? Am I trying to manifest because it makes me feel better instead of actually facing the issues? I know that this was a lot, and I know that this is a topic most people don't enjoy hearing, but they need to hear it to make progress. You need to look at yourself in order to progress in this world. You need to face the current identity you are being in order to unbecome that old version of self and step fully into the new version. And it's going to take repetition. It's not about the time. It's not about the hours in the day or the days on the calendar or the months in the year. It is about how consistent are you being this new self? How often are you choosing to step into the new identity, and how often are you choosing to allow the old identity to keep you in that victim state? Because the choice is yours. And it's really that simple. I intend that this information was helpful. I know it was helpful for me when I was on my manifestation journey in the very beginning, especially. And if you have any questions about it, I'm happy to answer them in the comments. If this video was enjoyable for you to watch, go ahead and leave a like, a thumbs up. And if you'd like more content, especially surrounding SP and self-concept, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and the bell icon in the corner to notify you when I upload. I believe that if you apply this information, you will get your manifestation, and you will get your specific person, and you will get whatever your desires are. Have a good one.